Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're looking at squad battle in the Bronze League because a lot of people have been messaging me saying, Cynicalex, I'm the number one in squad battle. No one's playing squad battle. Lol, I'm the number two in squad battle. And so it's obviously impossible for everyone to be number one or number two. But we now know, based on what we can see here and what I've seen in a lot of people's screenshots, they have intentionally or unintentionally, I believe it's intentional because it would be a weird thing to have as a mistake, sectioned off people into what appears to be groups of 50 players. So there's a very low chance that you're going to recognize anyone in your league. Actually, I do recognize one person in my league, so I said there's a low chance, but well, I actually recognize a couple of players in terms of their names, just because I've been playing for so long and I've seen so many player names, but I do recognize the guy there at number one right now. For now, I believe he is in my second alliance. Anyways, so what does this mean for squad battle? Well, it means that some squad battle apologists, some Netmarble bootlickers, are going to say that this is good, and that more players are going to be able to get rank 1, 2, or 3 rewards. And you know what? Some content creators, possibly even myself, maybe some high level players that you know, may end up being able to get the number 1, 2, or 3 rank rewards. Now, in the previous season when it was the minor league and everyone was playing together, I was around rank 50 at the end, but that was playing with every single player in the world. So if you take that as an example of how good I am, I'm only the 50th best player in the world. So yeah, obviously that's nowhere near rank 1, 2, or 3. But now I'm given a much smaller group. I'm, a whale in a pond with 49 other random players. The chances of me being paired with one of those other 49 players ahead of me is extremely low. There's hundreds of thousands of players. And so the chances that I could get rank 1, 2, or 3 are pretty high. But that is meaningless. So I wanted to make this as a PSA for anybody out there that thinks that this is a good thing. Now, it may be good for your ego to see that you're rank 5 or rank 6, but you're only playing against 49 other people. That is not impressive whatsoever. Being the number one player out of 50 random players, half of whom probably just log in and log back out, and you can go ahead and take a look at their icons. Some of these players have icons from, uniforms from years ago, or they have icons from free uniforms. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that not all these players take the game very seriously. I don't think that these players were chosen as players that represent, a skill level or an account progression level near mine. I mean, this guy's name is literally JEJSJHHSSHAH. I'm pretty sure if you look up this guy's account, it's not very good, okay? He's got default Thanos as his icon. So, this guy's got Daisy as his icon. I mean, listen, you can have whoever you want as your icon. It doesn't mean you're a good player or a bad player. But I think you can get what I'm saying, that there's a good chance that at least half of these players are terrible, or they just don't even care about squad battle and they don't play. And why would you? Why would you care about squad battle? Why would you play? The rewards are trash. So it doesn't really do much for your ego. And even if it does, it's hollow and pointless, because you're still going to get a rude awakening when you play ABX or when you play timeline battle or when you try to do GBR and try to carry. Like, those are where you're actually going to have to test your skill and where you'll see really where you're competing with everyone in the game, that you don't actually come very close. And then on top of that, what are you really competing for? 30 Mandalay gem fragments? Oh boy, that's only 1/20th or not even 1/50th of what you need. I don't even know what it is. It's a very small amount of the 1,000+ Mandalay gem fragments that you need to awaken a character. So this is a pretty crappy change. It's obviously better to put us in groups of 50 than having all general players in one league together. But at the same time, why didn't they spend more time on squad battle to actually make it worthwhile? They could have rewards all the way down to the top 50. Even if it's just 10 Mandalay gem fragments, it's not going to kill you, right? So maybe rank 50 to rank 40 gets 10, rank 39 to rank 31 gets 15, and so there you can see that your progression is actually being rewarded, whereas here, you basically have one calculation to make. Is there any possibility that I can hit top 3? If you look at top 3 and you can't hit top 3, there's no point in playing. There's no point in playing beyond the base rewards. So basically what people are going to do is they're just going to look at their league that they're in, or they're going to look at their little group, the division that they've been put into randomly. You know how in football, Portugal, Germany, Spain, they always get put into the same division, and everyone's like, oh no, it's the group of death, or it's the group, you know, group D, group E, whatever. Just look at your group. If you have a chance of getting top 3, you're going to take it seriously and play. If you don't have a chance of getting top 3, you're just going to auto play and cash in these rewards and then just F off. So it really pains me to see this type of, you know, de-incentivization by the devs to basically give players a very easy way out to just completely ignore their game mode. They presumably work hard designing this game mode, and then they create a situation in which they're basically incentivizing players. Hey, listen, we're going to make it really easy for you. If you're not the top dog, just don't even try, okay? Don't even try. How is that, you know, imagine the Olympics. And it's like, listen, yeah, they have gold, bronze, and silver, sure, but the recognition that everyone gets for even being an Olympic athlete, not to mention the rewards they get, sponsorship deals, they can even get cash incentives from their country. Now, there's a whole political thing involved with, like, smaller countries not being able to pay Olympians, and Olympians from those countries basically falling into poverty because they spent their lives training and then they never won gold, and then they just had to... Anyways, it's sad, but I'm getting off topic. The point I'm trying to make is, why would you do this? Even if the squad, even if the group is only 20, it doesn't matter. You're telling, you know, 95% of the people in the group to not try. And the only people who are going to try are the people who are within striking distance of rank 1, 2, and 3. So I would say that, like, you can see right here, Suckboy69. What a perfect name. The perfect name for what this game mode really is. It is a Suckboy69. So Suckboy69 and then Frankly Man or Frankie Man. You can see there's a difference of score there of 3 million. So if I was Suckboy, why would I try any harder than I've already tried, right? Has he played all of his matches? Okay, he hasn't played all of his matches yet, but still, okay, you know what? Frankie Man has played all his matches, so maybe Suckboy can do it. Maybe. But again, he's only competing to get to rank 6. Do you know what the difference in rewards between rank 7 and rank 6 are? Exactly, there's no difference. There's no difference whatsoever, so why would you do it? Why would you do it this week, let alone next week, and the week after that, and the week after that? Because Netmarble wants this to happen 52 weeks a year. Are you mental? You want players to compete with each other with 0 reward. Can I get you to work for 0 reward? Can I ask you, Netmarble dev, can I ask you to come into work for 12 hours and ask one of your colleagues to come into work for just 8 hours? I'll let him go 4 hours early. I know it's kind of, you know, against Korean work culture, but I'll let him go 4 hours early and I'll pay you guys the same amount of money. How does that sound? I know that already happens, but seriously, it sounds stupid, right? So if it sounds stupid in real life, why would it sound like a good idea in a video game? It's the same thing, man. You want people to sit down and play your game? Make it worth their while. This is not worth anyone's while. So if you're not basically, you know, if you're not Shiny Gizmo, if you're not Shiny Gizmo, there's no point. Anybody below 5-6 million has no incentive to play this whatsoever. So yeah, this is a change. This is not what we expected. We expected all players to be in one general pool for bronze, one to be in all, you know, all players to be in a general pool for silver, and so on and so forth. We expected it to be like timeline battle. So they've sectioned it off into 50-player groupings. That's whatever, fine. But the rewards are still the same, so the lack of competition will still exist. Now, with that being said, I want to give you guys a little run through of one of my matches for Squad Battle. There is a bunch of strategy involved with choosing teams, but I want to wait a little bit longer until we get into the next round, possibly, of Silver League to see what the restrictions are. I'll run through the teams quickly and tell you guys what I think are the best options for each of the setups, assuming you have all characters unlocked and you have, you know, really gangster badass builds. If you don't have these characters unlocked, you're going to have to substitute other ones, but I will cover some of the most popular choices. So for the combat day, I do think that Namor is your best option here. Namor is the best option to probably pair with someone like, if you have his uniform, Red Hulk for the leadership, and then Valkyrie for the support. This, I think, is probably one of the best teams. I also do see a lot of players using Apocalypse, so you could also substitute in Apocalypse for Namor if you don't have him with She-Hulk lead. This is also a really nice team up, but there are some tier 2 characters that can probably get you to 800,000 points or higher if you're just going for the max rewards, like Molten Man. Molten Man's probably your best tier 2 option. He hits the hardest. Keep in mind, all defense down doesn't work, so characters like Sabretooth are going to perform much worse than you expect. Characters like Winter Soldier, characters like Deadpool will not really be top dogs for this game mode. After combat comes Blast, and I think for a lot of people, Blast is going to mean Sharon Rogers Day, and I absolutely agree. I think Sharon Rogers is an excellent choice for this. You could pair her up with either Star-Lord or Cyclops, if you're not using Cyclops as a damage dealer himself, and then go with Shuri's, Phil Coulson as a support. Professor X seems good for this game mode, and he does clear the waves really quickly, but when you get to Surtur, Professor X just doesn't really do that much damage. Again, Professor X relies on reducing your mind resistance and then dealing more damage, but you can't do that to Surtur, to the boss, so raw DPS from someone like Sharon is much better overall, and that's where you're going to get the majority of your points at the end of the match. The first 2 rounds are kind of just survival rounds. You're only going to get about 400,000 points doing those 2 rounds. It's really the last round against Surtur where you have to make up, a minimum of 400 or 500 points, 1,000 points, in order to get to the final reward. Next up, we have the speed category, and in this one, Luna Snow reigns supreme. You can also use Quicksilver if you don't have her built up yet, but he is more expensive. Characters that you'd think would be good for this game mode, but actually aren't that good, especially on the speed day. Characters like Rogue, characters like Deadpool, and I mentioned before, Tier 3 Winter Soldier, because the all defense down doesn't work. Ant-Man isn't even that good, and even Dr. Octopus. Speed actually gets exposed as one of the weakest classes here, because so many of the characters rely on single target damage. They have low AoE, and so you just run into issues where you can't clear the waves fast enough, you can't rack up enough points, and then speed characters just don't have a punch, a hard enough hit, to really deal enough damage to Surtur without all defense down. And so your list of applicable and useful characters is really short. You could try Spider-Man 2099, to be honest, but I really haven't heard any good things besides Quicksilver or Luna, and I have heard players, and I've struggled myself to use Dr. Octopus. For the Universal Day, this one is a little bit tricky. You technically want to use Ghost Panther with someone that has fire damage, but unfortunately, none of the good Universal types have fire damage, especially like Tier 3 Thanos, Tier 3 Thor, Tier 3 Captain Marvel, and because you can't use Ghost Panther on any other day except for Superhero at the bottom or the No Restriction, you might end up having to use him here to actually just provide some kind of buff, because if you don't use Ghost Panther here, then you don't have any buff besides Ebony Maw, and I don't know if Ebony Maw works because we haven't confirmed the typing of Surtur, if he is universal or not. So I would err on the side of caution, and I would use Ghost Panther here rather than using him somewhere else and then weakening your universal score and maybe not being able to hit 800,000. But yeah, like I said, Thanos with, Ronin lead or something like that is very, very strong. So is Captain Marvel here. I haven't really seen any teams outside of those 2. I don't imagine too many other characters in the Universal class would be good. Possibly Thor, but that's probably the end of it. Maybe Nimrod, but again, I haven't tried, and he does rely on all defense down to rack up lots of damage. And then the last 2 are the easiest, Superhero and No Restriction. There aren't a lot of strong villains, so you're probably going to end up using heroes for both. Unfortunately, I don't think Doctor Strange is very good for this game mode, but on the other hand, fortunately, I do think that a lot of people are sleeping on Mr. Fantastic. I think Mr. Fantastic is fantastic for this game mode. You can pair him with White Fox if you don't use her with Luna. You can give him, things passive for the extra 40% all attack. He's very good. He self-buffs, and especially if you have his new uniform, the Future Foundation, the accumulation on his 3rd skill does wonders. Another great option for the No Restriction Day would actually be Magneto. I think Magneto is much better now if you have his uniform. I haven't tried Captain America, but I imagine he's difficult to use, but he might pay off if you can play him really well. But outside of those characters, I don't think Crescent does very well. She has a difficult time focusing on characters who move around a lot, and Surtur does like to move around a lot. I don't think Iron Man does well because, again, he relies on all defense down. And that's it for your big hitting super damage tier 3 characters. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think of the squad battle sort of mini. It's not really an update, but just now that we know more about squad battle, what do you think of it? If you guys have any tips for tier 2 teams that are getting you to 800,000 points, or maybe some sleeper characters like Mr. Fantastic that people don't know about but is actually amazing, hit me up in the comments. In a couple of days, I'll probably show you guys a clip of what my team looks like and what my score looks like once I actually put in the work to get my squad battle done for this week. You can also send me screenshots of your best and maybe we'll do some giveaways, something like that with Squad Battle. Because you know what? If Netmarble's not going to give us rewards, at least I can try to give you guys some rewards, and then we can all move on to another game if this game doesn't pick up and fix itself. Let me know what you guys think. That was like half joking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.